We'll now take a look at what's coming up from the mining news. Mimbula Mine committed to safe mining as compensation for acid-affected farmers still awaits. Let's take a look at the details shortly.
I think what inspired me is really the principles of First Quantum. I saw working in the mining industry, first of all, the reason it wasn't my passion in the beginning was the fact that everybody put it out there as a very dangerous place to work in. So like when I looked at First Quantum and how much they preach safety and how much they uphold safety, I realized it's a good place to be because safety is always looked after. First Quantum, to be specific, has got a deliberate policy to empower women. That's first thing, because a lot of women are out there thinking they might not survive in the mining industry. But if they look in the First Quantum direction, First Quantum has a deliberate policy to empower women. We've seen it even from the recent people that are being recruited. There's a lot of balances between men and women because they believe that women are just as good. We've got few examples that have excelled, myself being an example. Being here for 10 years really is not a joke. It takes a lot. I'm on this talent development program that First Quantum has put in place, and I've been identified with somebody with potential that can be a future senior leader of the business. So I am a woman. Obviously, any woman can do it.
Now, 4 months after acid effluent from Mimbula Mine contaminated the Chavanyama and Mushishima streams in Chingola's Fipuya area of Kamuchanga Ward, Mimbula Minerals Limited says cleanup efforts are ongoing as the company awaits a final report on affected farmers. Now, the incident, which affected approximately 164 hectares of farmland, triggered environmental and economical concerns among local residents, especially small-scale farmers who rely heavily on agriculture for their livelihoods. Mimbula Minerals Limited Public Relations and Corporate Affairs Officer Ian Chituchomba says the mine has continued to engage environmental experts who actively continue to clean and monitor the stream. Mr. Chituchomba adds that no compensation has been paid and no funds have been released. Mr. Chomba says discussions between Mimbula Minerals Limited and the relevant insurance service providers are ongoing and the compensation process remains under thorough review.
4 months ago, the tranquil flow of Chavanyama and Mushishima streams in Chingola's Fipuya area was disrupted by a wave of acid effluent spilling silently from nearby Mimbula mine, but loudly affecting lives, crops and livelihoods. Over 160 hectares of farmland lay poisoned for residents here. What once fed families is now a painful reminder of a loss.
Responsible for the pollution of this river. At least give us something.
As concerns spread beyond the communities, provincial leaders stepped in, bearing witness to the damage and pledging action.
Making sure that government yaba president akainde ichilema taifwa yo lufiengo iyo eba twasenda na ba Mimbula bali pano.
And from the national stage came a firm voice demanding answers and accountability. Today, cleanup operations are still underway. Mimbula Mine says it has not walked away from its responsibility.
Have been happening around on the Copper Belt is our concern as civil society. Now we can't sit idle and look at the atrocities of environmental losses and damages. There must be issues of maintaining our environment according to production schedules which these mining companies have actually planned. The failing of tailing dams is a negligence because global standards actually talks about maintaining tailing facilities From time
But while the water clears, the path to compensation remains murky. No farmer has received a payment and the matter is still before the courts.
Wish to refute claims by some locals who are spreading falsehood that Mimbula has released monies towards the compensation in relation to the spillage that occurred in January this year. Arrangements are being made with also the insurance company such that at an opportune time we'll come back and communicate through relevant and formal communication channels that, of course, the compensation process can start.
For now, the residents of Fipuya wait not just for compensation but for trust to be restored, land to heal, and justice to finally flow as freely as the streams once did. Love Mosondash for Diamond News in Chingola.
That mining news update brings us to the end of the mining news. But before we go, let's take a look at the mineral commodity prices. We start off with the minerals right here. The mineral commodity prices, I beg your pardon. We have seen that 5 minerals have closed off in a positive and 1 closing off in a negative in terms of the pricing. We start off with aluminium, which closed off with a positive price of $2,658.50 US. Copper closing off in a positive price of $9,919.50 US. We also have zinc there, which closed off with a positive price of $2,860 US, and nickel closing off in a positive as well with $15,528 US. Lead, unfortunately, closing off with a negative price there with a closing price of $2,011 US. And finally, tin did close off with a positive there with a closing price of $33,908 US. That wraps up our mining news. Overall, that's the business and construction news. We take a break. When we get back, we have more coming up on the news desk.
Mining News, sponsored by First Quanta Minerals Limited, operating Kansanshi Mining PLC, and FQM Trident Limited.